All right, welcome everyone to another day of our Financially Fearless Challenge. It's a 5-day event to be able to provide anyone who's in the audience, anyone who's attending, a 5-day worth of value, financial value. So you guys could go home, or back to your respective lives to be able to utilize these concepts, utilize this education, utilize this knowledge to invoke change not only in your life, but of course in the lives of your guys' families, your workplace, your communities, maybe organizations you're affiliated with. Because at Exertus Financial Partners, that is what that's part of our mission, our crusade in terms of serving everyone in our communities, in terms of being financially well, financially sound. Because we've been there before. We've been in the in our lives. We've been in a trajectory where we weren't financially well. We've been in we've had experience in terms of not knowing how to grow our money, not knowing how to grow our protect our money, not knowing how to deal with taxes, how to deal with budgeting, how to deal with retirement, or dealing with our debt. And so our goal within this 5-day week is to provide all of our audience, all of our community, to be able to not only learn about finances, but to understand simple concepts and philosophies that they can, again, take back home to be able to take them on a path towards becoming financially free, or experiencing financial freedom. So we do have an excellent lineup for you guys today. And at the same time, I'm sure that for those who have attended in the past couple of days, you guys had some good takeaways, some good feedback, some good nuggets that could invoke change in your guys' financial life. So without further ado, guys, we're going to jump right into today, day 3 of our 5-day challenge. And this individual right here, let me tell you, when it comes to understanding finances, he's had excellent, a lot of experience in terms of this financial services sector. But at the same time, he's utilizing these concepts, this education, some of the knowledge that he's going to be that he's been sharing in his family, in his team, in his organization, about the world of finances and how to be financially well. Let me tell you, this is an individual that you want to take copious notes on, because he's going to be sharing, again, some simple concepts that you guys could utilize today. He's changing families' lives all across the nation in regards to overall business acumen, but at the same time, financial wellness too. So please help me give none other. Help me give a warm welcome to none other than the Senior Executive Vice President of Exertus Financial Partners. We have none other than Mr. K. Tiger Kyle Salon, all up to the stage. Brother Kyle, are you on today's call? Hopefully he's on right here. All right. Well, actually, let me take that back. We do have an individual right here who's little technical difficulties. We have first individual. We're going to change up the schedule a little bit. This individual right here, let me tell you as well, has great handful of experience in this sector, teaching families all across the nation about financial education, which he's actually utilizing in his own journey towards financial freedom, as well as his team as well. We have none other than Executive Vice President, also board member of the company. We do have Mr. Tio El Labrador Ortiz. Brother T, are you on, sir?
I am here. Thank you so much, Noel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm here. Thank you. All right. Welcome, everyone. I know that we have like 500 people on the line. And, I'm playing around here, but I know that if you in one platform, you probably see one or two, but we are open and field platforms. So, and we are all over on the internet. So, but I'm excited today, day 3, to share with you guys, everybody that is showing up here. I congratulate you for trying to learn and to get better, for a better future for yourself and your family, of course. Um, Day 3, you do not want to miss this, and I will say, if you are serious about learning and putting this to action, the best thing to do right now is actually grab a notebook and a pen. I will show you some also. I could, but maybe next time. There's also an online free software that you can use to take notes, to keep up pictures, or keep up forms and all these things. And it's a free system to use. But if you're here and you like to use that, is Notion.so. Notion.so, and maybe next time I can teach you how to use it. And this is very powerful because if you take notes, that's how you're going to remember in case that you forget. You come back to your notes, and then there it is. You can go from there. But now I'm going to start my presentation. If we can put it up here, and I'm in charge to share with you about working with budgets. And this is something that we all need to learn. And we probably have our own system. And if it works, great. But if it doesn't work, try something else. Maybe try what I'm going to share with you. Maybe this will help you too. Um, Now the next, I don't know if I can put the change the slide here, but if I can have the next slide, let's see. Let's see if I can do that. For some reason, I cannot change the slide. I don't know if I don't have control of it. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can reshare it. I'll reshare it, okay? Because it's not working, so I'll reshare this. Just hang on, guys. Real quick, right here. Let's share. I do not see myself anymore. I'm lost. But hey, the presentation is here, and I'm sure you can see it now too. You cannot see the presentation. It says sharing. It says sharing for some reason. Okay. Okay, perfect. It's just something with the internet. I can see it right away, but you guys cannot see it right away. So that's the thing, okay? But now we are in business, so let's do this. So what would you have to do to start working on your budget? First thing, of course, is have an income, right? If you don't have an income, what do we have to work with? Nothing. First is determine your monthly expected income. How do we do this? And like I said, there's many ways, and if you have a system, that's great. But if not, try something else. This is one that you can use. One, if you have a salary job, you'll find this information on your pay stub. It's very basic, no? It's the amount you take home per paycheck. That's if you have a salary job. Now, if you get paid on the 15th and the 30th of each month, you simply multiply your paycheck amount by 2. We all work on a different industries or different ways. Maybe some of you are self-employed. So now, how did we do that? Now, if you get paid every 2 weeks, if you get paid bi-weekly, you'll want to multiply your paycheck amount by 26 and then divide that by 12. Example, if you make maybe $4,000 every week or every 2 weeks, you will multiply that by 26 and then divide that by the 12 months of the year, and that will give you your monthly income, which is about 8,000 something like that. Okay. Now, if you have more than one job, and I know in this country a lot of people have more than one job. One job is not sufficient. It's not enough. And you probably know some people that they have several jobs. And when you have that, then we don't have like a set income all the time, right? You might be self-employed, or you might have a job and also have your own business or self-employed business going too. And the process for determining your net income, which is different from your gross income, is a little different this way. Now you have to work with your own numbers to be able to find out how much exactly you are getting paid. But number one is putting all this together. Number two is list all of your fixed expenses. And like I said, it's not my way, it's not this way. It's is trying to find a system that works for yourself. But this is an idea. This is a system that you can start using if you are serious about putting your budgeting in order. Because and I know we're trying to save, but if we don't have this, we are sometimes not carefully spending what we don't have. So next part is fixed expenses are expenses that stay the same from month to month. So which expenses are those? You probably have an idea which expenses are those. Those are the ones that you pay every month, like the rent or your mortgage. This is something that you have to pay, otherwise you will be living with the homeless under the bridge, right? Car payments, if you have a car payment, repayment of student loans. Some of I'm glad I don't have any. Some people have some student loans. Internet and phone bills. We all have this, right? Credit card debt payments, automatic deposits into savings accounts, and insurance. In my case, I have a lot of different kinds of insurance. So I have to take that to count, right? So write them all down on a piece of paper. You can start that, but that's not really a system, right? You probably want to fill it out on a like a worksheet, in a budget worksheet. Exertus Financial Partners actually have this kind of forms also. If you need to use them, reach out to the person that invited you here, and they can help you out with that. And you can also use like a spreadsheet or whatever feels easiest for you to use. Then use that. The third one that I have here is total your fixed expenses. And this is like, if we don't catch this presentation from the beginning, we might get lost here, because what are we talking about? But this is like step by step by step by step to get to your goal, to get to where you want to be financially, or the money that you want to start saving for retirement. Time waits for no one, and we must take advantage of time. So now that you have totaled all your fixed expenses, crunch the numbers to find out how much you spend on fixed expenses every month. How much is it? And you'll be surprised, but sometimes we spending more than what we're making, and that's where it's like frustrating, and we cannot get ahead financially, because we want to have a nice watch, want to have a nice car, want to have all these nice things before we can afford them. If we can afford them, that's great. But sometimes we need to really wait until we can afford them and create a budget, so that way we know where we are. That's like our GPS, no? Since this number won't change much from month to month because they're fixed expenses. You can use it as a foundation for your monthly budget, because these numbers will not change that much, right? It will mostly be the same numbers over and over. You pay your rent, you pay your water, you pay your electricity, you pay your internet, you pay your phone, right? It's the same. So pretty much it's fixed fixed bills that we have. Okay, so now subtract your total spending on fixed expenses from your net income to find out how much you have left over for variable expenses. Now, the variable expenses are the ones that we want but not really need that much, right? But we need a shelter. We need a house to live. We need clothes, and not all the time. We don't have to buy them all the time, but we need some, right? But shelter and food and water. That's what we really need now. But here, I mean, I used to survive in Mexico just with food and water. I'm good. I don't need clothes, no. But hey, here we need internet to do our business. We need electricity. We need all these things that we need to pay for them, right? Um, but that's what we have to do. We have to subtract all these fixed expenses, and see how much we have left over for the things that we want. So think on the things that we really need, and then the things that we want. It's not the same. We cannot have what we want if we cannot afford it, but we must concentrate on the things that we need to live. Now, let's go into see the variable expenses. Variable expenses, as you know, they can change from month to month. Such as groceries, we can not really, but we don't have like a set amount that we have to pay for that. Sometimes we buy more, sometimes we buy less. It just depends how much we need. Restaurants. If we really tight on a budget, we don't really need to go out and eat all the time, right? Um, Shopping, fitness classes, and gifts. These are expenses that we could tolerate not to do them, except groceries, right? Because I like to eat. I cannot live without that. But like I said, it's not fixed. It's a variable expense. Uh, okay, so to estimate your variable expenses, check your receipts. This is not like science, right? This is what we do. We want to find out something, we just go to online banking or the credit card statement. How much would I spend? And then the apps, like how much I sent to my friend because he loaned me money or whatever, Venmo and PayPal. All these are not fixed, are variable, but we have to keep track of all this. If we don't keep track of all this, then it's gonna mess us up for sure. List every single thing that you spend money on last month that wasn't fixed expense. And then this is going to help, because this is how we spend money, because we say, okay, I'm good for the rent for this month, or I'm good for the mortgage, so I'm just gonna buy that because I really want it or I really like it or whatever. But we must list the fixed expenses, have enough for that, no? Even though these numbers will change each month, Starting with last month's purchases should give you a solid estimate of your spending habits. Now, um, we all have habits, and we're gonna have a good training on that, on habits also. But sometimes spending on the things that we don't need is pretty much a habit. I mean, how many people you see? Well, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna say. Yes, I'm going to say it. That spend money on cigarettes, for that matter. I'm sorry if I offended you, but it's the truth. Not only you are messing up your health, but you also spending money on that, right? So all those little things that we have to watch out. And this is pretty much smoking. It's not something that we need, but it's a habit that we have created through the months, through the years, that we keep doing the same thing and we get stuck with that. So just think about that. Now, what we do here is total your variable expenses. You know, everything is simple. Simple things, but sometimes are the hardest because they're too simple to do, so we just don't do them. It's too simple. I mean, you really just do that and that's it. Add up all your variable expenses and add that number to your total spending on fixed expenses. Okay, I hope I haven't lost you, but if we just take note from the beginning, because it's like step by step, one thing after another we have to do, and if we don't do it that way, we'll get lost, even though it's very simple. But now we're gonna add all the variable expenses and total that spending on a fixed expense to put it together. No, is that number more or less than your total net income? Just think about this one. Now that you add all of this, is that number more or less than your total net income? If it's more, we have a problem because we are living above our means, and it that's a we don't see it right now. Right now we're good. We're young, and we can work and no problem, right? But there's gonna be a day that your body is gonna be tired, and you're not gonna be able to work anymore to survive. And if we didn't take care of all of this right now, by budgeting, by using incredible plans that exert us offers, for that matter, then it's going to be hard. So if we want to live right now above our means, this means we're not leaving a room to live later for us. What is going to happen? We're going to be homeless, or we're living with a parent, or a son, or whatever. So we don't want to do that, no. Maybe not with a parent. So now, break your monthly expenses down into categories. It can be helpful to use both broad categories like food, along with specific subcategories like restaurants, groceries, and coffee. To learn more about your specific spending habits, we need to break this down and find out, what are those specific spending habits. Because it's easy when we go to the store and just oh, I didn't came for this, but I like this. Or even at the grocery store, when we go to the grocery store, well, we need this, we need this, we need this. But what is that? I never tried that. Oh, I'm gonna take it. When we go to the clothes store, same thing. We go to buy one thing, we see other things, we buy. If we can afford them, good. But if we're in a budget, we had to think twice, and then maybe count to 10 and make a decision after that. Next one is evaluate your spending habits. Add up your total spending per category to find out what percent of your income you spend on each category. Divide your total spending per category by your net income and multiply by 100%, and that will give you the percentage that you are spending out of your total income. Looking at the percentages can be a handy way to understand how much of your money is going where. Now you can see, where is my money going? Oh, it's going here. So it's a leak right here. So we need to fix that. It's like when we have a leak at the house, we need to fix that. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess. Same thing here. If our money is leaking, we need to fix that. Now, the next one is check in with your financial goals. Which are your financial goals? What do you want? You have to be specific and set up a goal for a better financial future. If you are spending more than you make, identify areas where you can cut back. This is, in a sense, it might be boring for some people, but this is so important for everybody that we need to, not just because we are good at making money. I'm telling you, we are very good at making money, and that's not a problem. And especially when we're young, we can do whatever. Hard work, easy work, any work, all the work, we'll do it, no problem. But we have to watch it from the beginning. Variable expenses are easier to cut back than fixed expenses. I think you guys know this. Like I said, fixed expenses are like the rent. We need to pay the rent. We need to pay the internet. We need to pay the water bill. We need to pay electricity. We need to pay all this. So those we cannot cut back because they're fixed. But the variable ones we can. However, if you are vastly overspending on fixed expenses, it can be hard to compensate for that. So maybe sometimes we must go and live with a. I mean, this is a lot of people don't like that, but maybe that will be the solution. To live with a family member and just to get things going. Maybe that will be the solution, because it's the only way that we're going to be able to have a better financial future for sure. If you have money left over at the end of the month, yay, congratulations, that's great. That means you can allocate more money towards savings. Yes, savings, but savings not in the bank, I'm telling you. If you want to save, talk to an Exertus partner, because they will help you put your money where it will grow. That's where you want to have your money. Put your money in the bank, the one that you're going to pay bills with. Let's do it. Let's do that. The money that you're going to spend it, put it in the bank, because they're not going to give you anything anyways. So might as well use, because the bank have been using people for so many years. Now it's time to take advantage of the bank to have an account to pay our bills. They make a lot of money from a lot of people, and that's the least that they can do is we can use them to pay our bills. But do not put your money that you want to save for, let's say, a retirement or income for life in the bank. That's not going to work. Why? We have been talking about all this week about inflation. Is the bank giving you even enough for inflation? No. That's why I say not in the bank, but there are a lot of better plans that you can use that money. Now, if you have money left over, let's do something good with that money. Let's put it to grow, and so that way you have a good retirement, and maybe if you do it right, be tax free, because we have those solutions also. How about something that is not in the market? You don't have the risk of the market. Something that it will give you tax free income, and in a ways income for life as well. That's great. So that's why we are talking about this right now. The problem in America is that people don't have enough to live. And one of the issues, I believe, is that we always want to live above our means, and we're not thinking about the later years. We're not thinking that, oh, we're gonna be old. We're not gonna be able to work. We're not thinking of that about that. We always think, yeah, we it's so good. I'm making money. It's no problem. But there will come a day. I tell you, there will come a day. Our body is gonna be tired, and then we might have some problems with health. And if we're not prepared, who's gonna help us? Or somebody's gonna carry our torch for us. I think we should be prepared for the future, no matter what. All right. So next to each category, total, make a new goal for next month spending. Congratulations again. You have now a monthly budget that you can use to guide next month's spending. It's like start slowly, but keep going and keep improving. Real quick, I'm just gonna give you here, and if you want to write them down, if this will be serve you, that'll be good. 6 tips for successful budgeting. The first one is set specific goals. Set specific goals. When do you want to retire? I heard it a lot. Our CEO always talks about this. You know, if you want to retire, you can retire at 20 years old if you want to, 30 years old. The question is, do you have enough to retire? It's not, because you don't have to wait until you're 65, 67, and it just keeps going up. You can retire whenever you're ready. So let's start getting ready. The sooner the better. You want to retire at age 45, 35, you can do it. You can do it. So set a specific goal, whatever your goal is. Make incremental changes for the better. If nothing else, I think if everybody just start with their budget, they can become millionaires. Because I have learned that it's not the money, but it's the time. If we know this, the thing is that we didn't know this stuff before, right? Until we are involved in the financial industry and a company like Exertus Financial Partners, and then we learn about all this stuff. I said, man, I should have known this stuff when I was, younger or even little. That my parents will teach me this stuff. No, it didn't happen like that. So, but now we know, and we want to share with people, and that's what we're here for, sharing this couple of hours with you guys. Figure out what's important to you. thinking about your financial future. What is the most important to you? Probably having a new house, probably having a family that the parent can stay home and take care of the kids. I don't know. Just throwing it up there. Um, Use the tools that work for you. I said this in the beginning. It's not what I'm sharing with you. If you have a system, that's great. This is just another way, because this not is not only one system is the one. It's like everything that you use, if it works, keep using that. Except mental notes, because mental notes, especially when you get older, we start to forget, because we have, our computer, our brain is it has so much through the years, so much stuff, so we forget. And if we don't write it down and we forget, we gonna get it? We're not gonna get it. But if we write it down, now we go back and get it from there. Um, Automate and oversee. Automate, like, if you do, an example is, I do my bills pretty much automated. I don't feel that, because I'm not writing a check, right? So I don't feel like, man, my money is coming out, or my wife's money is coming out. um, it's coming out to pay the bills. I don't feel that, no, because it's automatic, and keep overseeing how's it going on. And last one is review your budget. Every time we had to review, how are we doing? It's like a policy review. Maybe we can make it better. It's the same thing. We just set our budget and we're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over and over. No, maybe we can do it better. Maybe we can improve. So we had to be reviewing our budget, and change things to make it even better. So now we when just if you didn't catch everything that we went through, you can at least write this down, and this will help you. We talked about determine your monthly expected income. How do we do that? We went over that. How to do that? List all of your fixed expenses. Which are those? Which are the fixed expenses? We went over that. So if you logged in earlier, from the beginning, I'm sure you took all the steps. Total your fixed expenses. Why? We went over that. Why? Right? List all of your variable expenses. What are you talking about by variable expenses? It's going to be recorded. This is going to be recorded. If you don't catch everything, you can go back to the recording and catch this. And then break your monthly expenses down into categories. Why? Why do that, right? Evaluate your spending habits. Also, where is my money going? What is it that I'm doing that is not even benefiting me? I'm probably getting sick with this kind of things that I'm doing, and I keep doing them. Why? Evaluate. Should I keep doing this, or should I change? Should I change to better things? Check in with your financial goals and adjust. Uh, you and you and only you know what is it that you really want at the end of the day. You are the one. You are the one in charge of you, no one else. If you don't know, you must sit down by yourself in a corner with a pen and a notebook and write down, why am I in this world living? What am I doing here? And I start writing down. Maybe something, man, and then you start getting your goals out and getting inspired. No one can give you better inspiration but yourself. No one can. Some other people can motivate you and inspire you, but you're the one in charge of your own destiny, of your own life. And then we also went over the 6 tips for successful budgeting. If you wrote those down, if you didn't, it's okay, no worries, because everything was recorded and it's gonna be playing over and over and over for everybody. Because the goal here is that create a better community that understands finances. That's the whole goal. Is the whole goal. That's why we are spending all this week a couple of hours with you guys to share with you guys, and hopefully later on you can share with somebody else, and hopefully by us sharing with you, you get a better financial life, and share that with someone that also will be of help for them. So that's all it is. That's why we are here today. But I'm so excited to be able to share this with you guys. And but for me, this is the end of my sharing. And stay tuned, because the next presenters, they're gonna be very, very powerful. Keep your notes on, keep your pens on, and keep writing. Keep writing. And if you can do this, if you can, write everything that the speakers are saying in a way that if you share this with somebody, they will understand your writing. Like you writing a book. Just think about it. Everything that they're saying, you write it down like you're writing a book. So you're creating your own book. And it's not only gonna help you, but it will help others. So thank you so much, guys. And Teo Ortiz out here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother T, for teaching, of course, the community about dealing and working with budgets. And guys, as you may have already known or have not known, when it comes to budgeting, it's very important. And at the same time, it is the first step in terms of becoming financially free. And of course, when using a budget correctly, it doesn't necessarily restrict you; it empowers you, which is what Mr. Teal was saying. And I would even say to the point of this is that no one will care more about your money than you. And so the first step is, of course, taking control of your finances. And to be able to do that is to, of course, working with a budget that's appropriate and that fits your values, that fits your priorities, that fits your life. And that's what Tio went ahead and shared so eloquently. And again, as he was mentioning, guys, too, if you had missed any aspect of his training, if you had to go or if you had to come in a little late, guys, this live stream will be viewed on and recorded on our a YouTube channel, as well as you can see it on our Facebook group too. So you could simply type both Exertis Financial Partners on either or social media platform, Facebook as well as to YouTube. You'll be able to find this content there. Now, guys, we're going to go ahead and transition into the next speaker. The technical difficulties have been already amended, so we are good to go. This individual right here will be touching in on the topic of dealing with interest. Guys, this is in and of itself an important topic which needs to be shared and at the same time needs to be educated on, so that we could go ahead and plan for any type of changes that might occur and arise in the financial landscape that we're in, specifically with inflation in terms of certain interest rates. We need to be able to have some type of plan in place to prepare for that and to prepare for future ones too. And so to be able to share this topic, he is quite credible in terms of this space, in terms of this type, in terms of this specific title. This individual here has been in the banking industry. He's been in the financial industry, and he's been in business for quite some time now in terms of educating on this topic. and not only in terms of helping himself, his family, but also his team and those that he mentors too. So let's go ahead and give a warm welcome, none other to the Senior Executive Vice President. Guys, take copious notes on this. We have Mr. Kyle Salon. Brother Kyle, are you on?
Yes, sir. Professor X. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear, sir. The call is yours.
Wow, what an incredible start of day 3 with the great TORTs. Incredible, guys. I hope you got some value already from day 1, day 2, and here we are in day 3 of the Financially Fearless Challenge. And our goal is to give you high value. Our goal is to give you so much value that you walk away saying, you know what? Who are these guys from Exertis Financial Partners? You know, I never got this amount of value before. I never got this amount of education before. And that's really it, guys. It starts with that education, because through education, you can make great decisions. You can make great choices with what's happening. You see, my topic for today, outside of Mr. T. Ortiz with dealing with budgets, it's going to be dealing with interest, high interest, and inflation, maybe high inflation that we're going on. So if we can go ahead and turn to my prez here, that's going to be incredible. So what I want to share with you is what is happening. Okay, what is happening in the state of America? Are we in a mode of economic expansion? Are we in that mode? Or are we in a mode of economic contraction? Is it the former or is it the latter? Is it expansion or contraction season? Well, if you were to ask me, and all the signs are pointing towards the contracting of United States, the contracting of the economy, okay? And I'm going to talk to you of what has happened over the course of just the last 36 months, last 3 years alone. There's been a pandemic, as you all know. I'm glad to be that we all went, we're out of that now. God bless every single family and every American and all over the world for that matter, because it was a tough time. And you see, when we had that turbulent time not too long ago, about 3 years ago, our interest and inflation was at almost an all-time low. January 2020 was about 2%, a little under 2%. And of course, pandemic hit, everything got shut down for a couple of months. Industries and companies and organizations were decimated in a matter of months, in a matter of weeks, guys. And what did the government do? Okay. The government stepped in. Instead of allowing everything to play out, they pumped trillions upon trillions of dollars into the economic system. Okay. Central banks, the Fed, the government pumped all that money. We call that quantitative easing. Okay. QE for short. And what happened through that, we had 2 emergency rate cuts, 0%, and things were just rocking and rolling. Within a matter of 6 to 12 months of trillions, I think it was $5 to $6 trillion, over 50, 60, 70+% of the whole money supply just being pumped and created in just this time frame, guys. And that's when you've seen everything start to rise. You've seen real estate go through the roof. You've seen the house, you've seen commodities, right? You've seen crypto and Bitcoin go through the roof. You've seen stock prices go through the roof, right? And that's what some people say, we created a fake economy because inflation, CPI numbers topped over, guys, get this, from 2% to now 5 to 9%. 5 to 9%, right? And that was incredible. That was incredible in terms of what happened, but we knew that was just money being printed. And now you see what has gone on just in the last 45 days alone. This is why I say the current financial state of American families is in massive despair and massive, economic turmoil, because you've heard it in the last to 60 days, that now banks are paying for this. You've seen Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate Bank. You've seen a Signature Bank. Now they're having so much trouble because, let's take, for instance, Silicon Valley Bank. When all that money was sloshing around in the system in the last 6, 12, 18 plus months, under two years, it created a influx of deposits in just Silicon Valley Bank. They went from 60 billion to as much as 180, 190 billion dollars. Guess what they got to do? And I'm going to share with you some of the practices that banks subscribe to. Remember, I used to work for the bank. I started at the low totem pole, and I kind of seen what some of these banks do to all of us, how they don't pay us enough interest. And now you're dealing with the state of inflation. It's incredible, guys. And what's happening right now is the fact that when these banks are putting it into those 10-year bonds that are supposed to be getting a guaranteed rate, and the crisis is happening because people are fearful of what's happening in these institutions. And when things like this happen, guess what? It creates a run on the banks. But the problem is the banks don't hold 100% of your money in assets, because we'll talk about fractional reserve banking, and it just crushes the system. It's just a cyclical cycle, never ending. And let's go to the next slide as we talk about this, guys. As we go into this, the value of money is actually decreasing. Your purchase power, inflation, as you know it, right? The inflation pretty much is the cost of goods and services compared to your purchasing power, right? Have you ever noticed $100 can't get you much today as opposed to 10 years ago or another decade ago, right? Haven't you ever noticed, the value of money is decreasing because of inflation increasing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9%, right? In the last 2-3 years alone, we haven't gotten inflation down past 6 and 5%. That's incredible. People right now are scared of their retirement. And guess what? We have solutions, guys. We have solutions that have market protection, market potential, because people now are getting worried that their 401k is kind of reminiscent of 2008, where 401 to 301 to 201, and who knows, maybe to 101k. They're having those memories of what happened just not long ago, 10, 12, 14 years ago. It's like a financial flashback, guys. You see, the state of our economy is worrisome, because we don't know where we go from here the next 12, 24, 36 months. Okay. Next slide. And at the same token, people, they don't know if they're going to have enough to make their monthly payments, their monthly necessities. Okay. It's so sad what's happening, on top of the fact that 50% of Americans, they have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. Look at that number. It's incredible, right? Close to 50% Americans don't have $10,000, in savings, let alone if they were to lose their job today. They're 1 or 2 paychecks from being broke and bankrupt, guys. This is very sad, and we need to start with educating financial concepts. Financial literacy is the way to go, okay? Because myself, growing up, and even in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, it's not the Silicon Valley as it is today, as I grew up 20, 30 years ago, right? Some say we live Silicon Valley at the wealthiest part in the world, but I see poverty all the time here in the Bay Area. Homelessness happening, people losing jobs, downsize, right size. As we go to the next slide, we can talk about, some of the things that's happening in the state of America, right? As we see on the next slide here, that stocks and assets are plummeting. $6 trillion lost. We talked about that. In the last 6 months, last 12 months alone, you've seen everything rise, and then you've seen the great fall, right? Starting with November 2021, when the Fed started increasing rates slowly, back from 0% now to 4.5%. Increased a surge in housing interest rates. A lot of people that were once able to afford an actual payment are priced out of the market. A lot of these risk on assets now are disappearing in value, right? Your retirement is dwindling. What if there was a way to have these types of solutions, like we talked about, market protection, market potential, tax-free accounts, right? Becoming your own bank and not relying on the institutions and the governments to backstop these banks. Backstop is another fancy word, right, of bailing out, because bailing out was the word for 2008. Backstopping is the word for today's age, where they're just putting $300 billion on the balance sheet. They don't even print the dollars anymore, guys. They don't have enough trees for that. They just put $300 billion on a ledger, and guess what? That's how they backstop the banks and avoid mass America running and going to get their money because they're afraid of what's happening. We don't know what the future holds, but guys, we have solutions that you need to seek out. That's why we're doing this 5-day Financial Fearless Challenge. And I hope in day 1, day 2, and just the last piece alone, you can gather some great information. As we go on to the next slide here, let's talk about some of these things. You see the U.S. debt clock right now, as we speak. Go to usdebtclock.org, and you can see a running balance of $30, $31, $32 trillion in debt. That is not okay, guys. Our country is slowly but surely going towards insolvency. I mean, there's so many government programs that we need to keep around. Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security and all these things we need to keep around. But guess what? As we, millions and billions and soon trillions of dollars, in debt, how can this country survive, right? We need some solutions. We need some answers. Next slide, please. Okay. And let's talk about the U.S. debt crisis. And what I mean by that, Americans are drowning in debt. We're going to highlight on the next slide, what type of debt are we talking about? There's so much debt out there. You see, U.S. consumer debt is at an all-time high, from home student loans, 10 trillion. I didn't say billion. I said trillion, guys. Research what $1 trillion is. How many billions of dollars? How many millions of dollars? This is crazy, right? And guess what? Our students, the future of tomorrow, we don't know if they can afford a college education, or if they do go through that, they're hundreds and thousands of dollars in debt before they can kind of get their life up and running. What about the home loans? You already see massive amounts of the starting foreclosures happening, I'm sure, in the last 1-2 years, because what's happening in the home loan arena, people being priced out of the market, people having to stay, living with other families for the meantime. This is a huge problem. And what happens if people start losing their jobs? Do you think they'll be able to start paying for their mortgages every single month? Auto loans. What I learned about auto loans is there's a huge number of people going into default in the last 6 months, 12 months in auto loans alone. People who can't afford to pay $1,000 a month in their auto loan are starting to kind of just give the car back, because what it all depends on, guys, is if the average American can make their monthly payments, right? And guess what's going to happen? It's a trickle-down effect. You figure if they can't pay their auto loans, what's the next domino to fall? Credit cards, close to $1 trillion. How would you like solutions that you can Eliminate it, not consolidate, not negotiate, but I'm talking about eliminate the debt. Because a lot of people, they don't understand how the interest in all these things, credit cards and auto loans and student loans and home loans and other loans, is like a noose around your neck. Imagine being able to take the hundreds, the thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. And some people who have home mortgages, they don't even know they're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest expense. Imagine being able to take that for your retirement. Imagine being able to safeguard that for your family and your future and your heirs and your children, right? We can live a better quality life as we go to the next slide, okay? Guys, I'm telling you, what we're offering here in Exertis Financial Partners is not only financial literacy, but we offer solutions. We offer a way out. We offer a way forward. How banks make their money. Let's talk about this. Fractional reserve banking on the next slide. You see, fractional reserve banking, the technical term, involves banks accepting deposits from customers, making loans to borrowers while holding in reserve an amount equal to only a fraction, operative word, fraction, of the bank's deposits liabilities. Banks' reserves are held as cash in the bank or as balances in the bank account at central bank. We're going to show you an illustration here, right? This is you, okay? As you go to the bank, you're putting your $1,000. You're putting your $10,000. And what happens next, okay, from that point on is a lot of people. Keep in mind, there's 330 million people just in United States. Imagine them just putting $1 in or $10 in or hundreds of dollars. That's billions upon billions of dollars being put into these financial institutions, are now becoming insolvent, you know, and are being backstopped by the government and the Fed. Next is, okay, here is what happens, and I'm going to illustrate this because I have some nice props here. Let's talk about this before I get to that next slide. Is let's say you had 10,000. Here's my props, okay? Let's say you had $10,000. The government, the banks are legally allowed to keep at least 10% of that in their depository account while loaning out the next $9,000 in the form of credit cards, in the form of student loans and mortgages and other debts that create them money, okay? And guess what happens? That $10,000 legally by law, let me go ahead and take my other stack here. This is a stack of 100,000 prop money. They can actually leverage this up to 10 times. So your 10,000 now becomes 100,000 that they've leveraged, right? Only keeping 10% in the bank. You see how the banks get wealthy, and guess what? And we make little to nothing on this. This, guys, is an atrocity, right? Because we make money while the banks profit in billions. Let's talk about that next slide here, okay? Let's talk about that next slide. You see, quarter one of 2023, 270,000 job cuts. Almost 5 times up since 2022 in the last 12 months alone. You know, where do you think we're heading? Are we heading to expansion or are we headed to contraction? My guess is we're contracting, guys. We're shrinking. You know, some people say the recession is here. Others have said, you know, no, we're not in that mode yet. We're still creating jobs. But guess what? I want you to read between the lines. I want you to, you know, not only pay attention to the Fox and the CNN and the MSN, and then do the opposite. Start doing your own research. Start understanding what's happening in this marketplace. Today is, you know, inflation is up. That's a little bit of a, you know, it'd be crazy, but it's up 6.5%. Okay. My mistake on that, 6.5%. Inflation is up. But why are items up more than 6.5%, right? Like chicken, you know, the cost of consumer goods like chicken is up 10.5% if you buy it at the store. Butter, you know, 170%. Milk, 50%. Eggs, 170%. Guys, don't take my word for it. Go to your local grocery store. Mine are Trader Joe's, Safeway, Costco, right? Wherever you're watching this, there's going to be hundreds, maybe thousands and thousands of people watching the playback on this live stream. Coffee up 13%. Your daily coffees, all of that is increasing, guys. Baby food up 10%. Rice, pasta, bread 15%. How can we survive if inflation is eating away at your money? The losers, as they say, are the ones that are saving money because they're putting it into these savings account, these checking account that's earning 0% to less than 1%. Let's say even 2%, while inflation's at 6.5% and 5%, right? You're losing purchasing power because you're keeping this in these types of accounts. Why not find ways and learn strategies where banks are putting their billions in tier 1 assets, tier 1 accounts? Yes, I did say banks. Your favorite institution, your favorite wagon bank, your favorite anything bank, right? Your Bank of America is putting billions upon billions into these tier 1 assets that are growing guaranteed, that are allowing you to have incredible dividends. And we don't even know about it. Now's the time to take back, the power and put it back into the American families, a possession. No more will middle America and the lower class family be subjected to, not knowing or being financially ignorant like myself and my family for so many years. We need financial educators. We need people like we need organizations like Exertis Financial to come in here, just give you straight transparency, straight truth, and say, you know what, there are better ways. You can find different strategies out there, right? Because we have solutions that fit every single need. And it's the highest increase in the last 30 years. I believe this is my last slide, but the season to audit your expense. Let me give you some tips. There's some tips that I want to give you here, okay? Before we end, there's some incredible tips that I want to share with you as things you can write down. With everything going on, inflation going on, interest rates going on, everything happening, this is the season to actually start to prepare and start to pivot. What do I mean by that? Step 1, you want to create awareness. Talk about in your community, your family, your peers, online socials. You need to stop, you need to create this awareness amongst your community. If you're the head of the household or you're part of your family, start having discussions about this in family parties. What can you do to conserve and preserve capital, right? Step 2, outside of create awareness, not the time to spend or splurge. If there was something that you wanted to buy, something that you wanted to do, now's the time to keep building that emergency fund of 6 months, of 12 months. Now's the time to look for solutions that are safe and secure. It's been around for over 100 years. Now's the time to create, save for a rainy day, as they say, right? Go through subscriptions, credit cards. Oh, I need to turn off that, $19.99 or $39.99 car wash. I can start washing my cars for now. If I can put that $40 back in my pocket. Don't subscribe to all the Hulus and the Netflix and the Primes and everything. Cut some of it out. If you can't, stick to one or share. Now's the time to find the money. See where you're wasting money, guys. See where it's inefficient dollars flowing just from your hands and saying, you know what? It's time to tighten things up and share this with the people I love. And last but not least, my favorite, what we focus here in Exertis Financial Partners, increase your market value. Increase your market value. What do I mean by increasing your market value? Ladies and gentlemen, I believe there's an infinite percentage of value that you can actually, in the greatest investment is in yourself. Learning new skills, focusing on investing in yourself, right? Be more valuable to your organization if you're working at an organization. Be more value to anything that you're doing. So that way, they find a way to keep you and say, you know what? Because this person's so valuable, we need to double his or her pay. We need to do whatever it takes to keep them around, because price is what you pay, value is what you create. A book will create value for you. A seminar will create value for you. Being a part of an organization on top of your full-time job and full-time business, can create value for you. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're just tolerated. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got some great tips from this Financially Fearless Challenge. Okay, day 3. And guys, we're going to close out with a bang, because the last person that the professor is going to be sharing, bringing up, is going to give you ultimate value to close us up. Pro, the call is back to you. Uh-oh, Pro, 1 second. Your speaker is muted. We lost you about 10 seconds.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's the quote of the last 2 to 3 years, right? Is that, you're unmute, your video is not on. But guys, as I was saying to myself, when it comes to this particular topic of how to deal with interest rates, Mr. Kyle, he did an excellent job in terms of giving a little context, but at the same time, providing really the way to execute and attack inflation, and to really provide the importance of having some type of game plan or some type of strategy in place to be able to take care of that, especially so when it comes to inflation, as well as how the economy is looking now. It can happen again where inflation rates in the future are going to be at all-time high, even in the time that we're living now. I love actually how Kyle went ahead and shared the inflation rates on butter, chicken, gasoline rates, which all of us are dealing with now. I don't care if you are on the wealthy end of the spectrum, or even on the lowest area of the financial spectrum. We're all dealing with interest rates in some manner. And of course, when it comes to inflation, it really is the silent killer, because it's happening to us, and we may or may not feel it, but it's happening to us, and it's eating away at a purchasing power of our money. So thank you so much, Brother Kyle, for sharing that piece. And guys, now we're gonna go ahead and transition to the last topic, last speaker of today, and we're gonna be utilizing this time to go ahead and share with you guys how to further build up the key habits, the success habits, to be financially sound. And this individual right here, quite credible in this space, as he's been in the industry, sharing education, sharing knowledge, sharing his experience, sharing his wisdom for 30 plus years in this space. How to deal with finances, how to conserve money, how to protect money, how to deal with interest rates as well, how to work with budgets, how to utilize specific strategies, solutions to be able to, get us towards our goals, towards our financial future. We have actually the CEO and president and founder of and co-founder of course, Exertis Financial Partners. Guys, it is my honor to actually introduce this individual right here. We have Mr. Eric Antonio, the animal of this space. We have him on the call. So, Mr. Eric, the call is yours.
Good afternoon to everyone. Can you hear me? All right. So, today, what I'm going to do to close up the third day of our Fearless Challenge is talk about the success habits for financial success. Learning about these habits would lead us to a different path. And because it's a different path, only few people get there. And this is the reason why there's 3% of the population that become successful. And most of the time, these 3% are the one employing the 97%. And what is the difference? Because they have these success habits. They're willing to do the things that the common unsuccessful people are not willing to do. That's why they are called uncommons. These are the people that are successful, people that have habits that they keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and that's why they keep getting better and better, because it becomes part and parcel of their routine. It becomes their standard. It becomes their system. It becomes part of who they are. And that's why you could see the difference, why these people are keep getting successful, because they have these habits. When you have these habits, it's just like it's just like automatic. When you wake up, which is also different when it comes to this kind of people, because they understand that the way you wake up dictates your day, dictates your week, dictates your future, and that's why they are so different. So let's dig into this five successful habits that most people are doing in order for them to be successful. Number one that I'd like to talk about is we need to challenge ourselves all the time. We need to challenge ourselves all the time. um, there's a need for us to awaken the inner hero from ourselves, meaning that we have this full potential, God given talent, and how we are special to Him, that we should be able to unearth and do it on a constant basis, because we could be the best version of ourselves and we could reach that full potential. It's time for us to reach a new height. And the only way we could do that is we keep challenging ourselves. Remember, we could have everything that we could dream about. And these are in terms of wealth. This is in terms of terrific business. This is in terms of great jobs, incredible relationships. The willpower and pep talk is not enough, guys. When we attend those seminars, it's not enough. It's no longer a wonderful thoughts alone. You've got to have a creative day thinking of what you need to do on a regular basis. The must do today, not just the things to do today. We should think of that every day so we could have a direction of what we need to accomplish every day. You've got to take the action. These successful habits of successful people always incorporate taking action on a daily basis, because when you do action on a daily basis, it will compound for you. And therefore, this discipline of doing this action on a regular basis will eventually lead to success. And that's why it's important we need to challenge ourselves on a regular basis. Second, there is such thing as 90-day sprint. Guys, most people, their common mistake is they think that they have all the time in the world. But successful people, they have this success habit of trying to accomplish things in short amount of time. They compress the time frame. That's why for them, retirement is not a function of age. It's a function of readiness. They're able to collapse the time frame, and they always have this 90-day sprint. They keep doing that. They try to accomplish what they could accomplish in a year in 90 days. And that 90-day sprint is a start of a small, doable sprint that everybody should do. It is a small size of our lives that could be addicting if we will get used to it, because we're getting successful doing it. This would also show how we could reinforce the change in our lives on a regular basis. You got to do this 90-day sprint. And then also, in order for you to have a very good systematic way, or a tactical way or implementing your plan in 90 days, you should ask yourself for what had happened the last 90 days. What specifically happened during the past 90 days. It's important to be able to know that. So you could position yourselves to have a successful 90 days. Never let your feelings get too deep to people or to anything out there, because people could change and things depreciate. You got to be able to tie yourself to goals instead of people and things out there. Ready to give up what you are today or what you might become. Let the past prepare you, not define you. That's very important. You are worthy of choosing you want to be in this moment. This is your time. Do not lower your standards to keep everyone. Make them meet you at your level, because self-respect is power. Another question that you could ask is, what success habits have you introduced into your life? Guys, one important success habit is um, being happy, happiness. Because when you're happy, when you feel good, you would do good all the time. You should define happiness, how it look and feel to you, and make the present your friend. That is how you could be happy. That's part of the success habits of successful people. Stop overthinking, because overthinking is the greatest enemy of success, because you are not going to be productive if you are keep doing this overthinking all the time. You cannot move on. Focus on positive income. Just like as a leader, you always focus on the strength, not on the weakness. So you keep getting better and better and better, and let that weakness take care of the people that would surround you. Don't be afraid to fail. Let go of grudges. Again, when you let go of those, you feel good. It's no longer you. It's done. Grateful for what's in front of you. You might not have everything, but if you're happy for what you have, you will be able to do anything of the everything. Don't settle for good enough. Don't settle for good enough. Be part of something bigger. The third question is, what habits did you replace that weren't serving you well? Because those are the things that you should not carry over. What are those? Maybe you hang around with chicken. Maybe you're spending your time too much on television. Maybe you're hanging out with people that don't give you value, added value. What actions did you take to make things happen? What actions did you change your schedule, or you're still staying the same, and hopefully something will happen? No, there are some changes that needs to happen right now, and that is your 90-day sprint. Last question is, whom are you spending more or less time with all the time? Because if these people are just dragging you, if these people are not helping you to grow, it's time for you to change your association, because your association is the wrong people that you're hanging around with. Remember, 5 years from now, if you check yourself and you're not growing, you are definitely with the wrong crowd, because your future would define you in the 5 days of the 5 people that you hang around with and the 5 books that you'll be reading along the way. The next one that I would like to share is practicing the 4 C's. In fact, there's a lot of C's. Number one C is your courage. You got to have the courage to go out there and talk to people. You got to have, it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in, because this is a people business. We need to talk out there. You cannot be a secret agent. That's why you are called producer, because you got to produce. And the only way to produce is you need to talk to people. You got to have that courage. It should be part and parcel of your routine. It should be your DNA. Don't hesitate to share to some people or everybody up there something that is good. You only hesitate when you're thinking you're selling them. But when you're helping them, you should not hesitate. So when you have that courage, you have that kind of routine now that you're always doing it. Guess what will happen? You will definitely have the capabilities to accomplish what you need to do. And once you're accomplishing and getting all the things that you know you can do, then you'll be more committed. You'll be more committed. And that would separate you from the rest, because a lot of people are called, but only few people are committed. And once you are committed, guess what? You keep doing it, then you become competent. You become more knowledgeable, and therefore this forces, if you practice this on a regular basis, being in the industry of financial services would always lead you to financial success. These are the habits of successful people. Number four, the power of your story. A lot of times people are stuck with their stories and they could not move on, meaning they might have challenging stories. They might have really bad stories. They might have stories that they don't want to share because these are horrible stories. But guys, these are the stories that should make you strong and should propel you to the next level, so you could create a new story. One incident, it should not be able to define you, because that's not your last page. You could create more pages that would have a better story for you. And that's how successful people are. They forget about the stories that slows them down to be successful, or stories that is not pleasant stories. But these stories made them strong. These stories made them who they are. And I could talk for myself, because I have a lot of stories that and background that if I just succumb to it, I will not be who I am today. Coming from a poor family, my family could not afford me to send to college, and so on and so forth. And the only way I could get out of poverty is education. And I wanted to be a doctor. I could not be a doctor. So I need to do something that's gonna be my option. And I'm glad that I'm now a money doctor, because that's the story that I chose to produce and become out of the challenging stories that I had before. Number five, focus on the outcome. Guys, it's not easy to be a millionaire. That's why there's only few millionaires out there, because a lot of people are focusing on the obstacles. A lot of people are focusing on the challenges. They're focusing on how it could be easy for them. Remember, when you do easy things, it's going to be more harder for you. And when you take care of the harder things right now, it's going to be easier for you to have your outcome. If you focus on the outcome, it doesn't matter what happens along the way. You will get there because you are so close to your outcome, because your eyes is always focused on your goal. And these are some of the things that that successful people are always doing. That's why, they always challenge, because they wanted that income. They're always doing the 90-day sprint because they wanted that income. They're practicing the forces because they wanted that income. They're so focused on that. They're creating their powerful stories along the way because of that outcome. So guys, let me let me switch gear here. I'd like to give some tips with you guys on some of the success principles of why people are very successful, why are so different, why they are able to become who they are, and how come people are not becoming who they are, because of the way they think, the way they have these principles. Number one is, sit at the table where they're talking about self-growth, money, and goals. Let me tell you, most of people out there have ordinary minds, and guess what, they are so excited to talk about people, and that's why most of them are not successful. Average mind, good minds talk about events, but great minds are seated on the table where they discuss self growth, money, goals, systems, strategies, and solutions. Number two, take care of your character, not your reputation. If you want to be a successful leader, you got to take care of your character, because that's who you are. Reputation is just what people think about you. Who cares? Because reputation is not who you are. It's what they think. But if you have that character, you could be a successful leader. You could be a successful person in whatever endeavor you would do. Number three, behind every successful human being is yourself. It's yourself. It's not your wife, it's not your spouse, it's not your husband, it's yourself. Because in order for you to be able to become somebody, the change has to happen from you. You got to be the best version of you. You got to be the you to the second power. You got to be the new you. It cannot be just you. And therefore, you cannot blame anybody if you don't become who you are supposed to be. Number four, success is not to be pursued. It is to be attracted by the person you become. That's why leaders are readers. Successful people do what unsuccessful people doesn't want to do. So these are the things. Successful people are willing to sacrifice right now, so they don't have, so along the way, they don't create a lot of sacrifices. They need to sacrifice now so that they don't sacrifice later. So you become the person that you become and capable of becoming, because you are intentionally growing for yourself. You are intentionally tying up all the things that you're doing for your goals, not with person, not with things. And therefore, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if those people change, things depreciate, you achieve your goal. and the rest doesn't matter. Number 5 is stop getting distracted by the things that have nothing to do with your goals. Always ask yourself when you wake up, what are the things that I'm going to be doing today? Are these things congruent to what I'm supposed to accomplish in achieving my goals? If not, then you should change your priority. Because if you do the things that you're capable of doing and you're supposed to do in order to achieve your goals, and you cannot do the rest doesn't matter because you accomplish those things that are going to be important in achieving your goals. Number 6, successful people do what unsuccessful people don't do. Guys, what are those? A lot of times we are not in those events because for ordinary people, they have baptismal every week. They have birthday parties every weekend. They have all these games that they need to watch, and all the picnics that they need to go to, and all the swimming parties that they need to attend. You know what? Successful people, they combine time and money together. They work hard while they're playing harder. It's not like they have to give up everything so they could enjoy. So that's why successful people always do what unsuccessful people do because they play harder. It's different when you celebrate because you have accomplished something. You have accomplished your goals. Number 7, being around people who push you to be better is important. Remember, you should not hang around with people who will push you down. Hang around with people who will always push you up, who is always um, like thinking of how they could help you to become better, how they could help you to go to the next level, how they could help you to become financially independent. Because successful people are are tickled by the number of people that they have helped to be there. It's not about them no more. It's how many lives they have influenced to be able to get to the next level, to be able to become financially free. Number 8. Number 8. I guess I have only 7 here. I forgot that I only have 7. So, guys, I hope you get some nuggets from what successful people are doing in order for them to get more successful. It's their success habits and principles that they are doing on a regular basis. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
All right. Thank you so much for that, CEO, for sharing a little bit about your mindset, your experience, as well as your wisdom on this subject matter. Guys, as you could see too, we wanted to go ahead and end off today's session with a little bit of that mindset because, especially when it comes to the world of finances, it is all about mindset. In fact, personal finance is 80% behavior, 80% habits, 80% mindset, and only 20% knowledge. Though we gave a little bit about the knowledge piece in the other speakers, and even throughout this week, we wanted to share a little bit of mindset because, like everything, relationships, finances, fitness, health. Though you could accumulate all of the knowledge in the world on those subjects, it really is at the end of the day how you execute, how you implement the behavior that you do, as well as the habits that you pursue on those subjects that are important to you, especially in the world of finances. So I hope that you guys got some key things on that because especially at the end of the day, when it comes to financial freedom, it's a mental and emotional, educational process. So just kind of wrap up today, as well as to summarize what had happened. Tia went ahead and shared, of course, very beautifully how budgeting works, how you could go ahead and implement your own budget system that is appropriate and that you prefer and that's comfortable to you. And then we went ahead and transitioned to Mr. Kyle, who went ahead and shared how to deal with the current financial landscape that we're all in, especially in the world of inflation, interest rates. It's going to happen in that, especially in the future, things are just going to happen. You know, maybe another pandemic is going to happen, another recession is going to happen. And in order to maintain or to achieve financial freedom, we want to be able to go ahead and prepare for that and not be ignorant to the fact that it's not happening, because it is, and it will happen again to us, maybe even in various degrees of it being higher or more difficult than most. But we want to go ahead and prepare ourselves and protect what we have, but at the same time know how our money works and how our money can continuously work harder for us. And then, of course, we ended off with CEO, who went ahead and shared the mindset piece on our outlook on how we see finances, the successful habits that it takes to not only maintain but to also grow our money, but at the same time how we view our relationships to money as well as success. So guys, tomorrow we will go ahead and continue with a new set of speakers and a new set of topics to continue our 5-day financially fearless challenge. And tomorrow is going to be very much special, as we do have some guest speakers coming onto the call from Hawaii. So guys, they're going to be sharing a little bit about what's going on in that state, but at the same time, their whole view as well as their whole understanding into the world of finances. So again, I hope that you guys got some good takeaways from today. Tomorrow we do start at the same time frame, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are going to be live both on YouTube as well as Facebook. So if either or will work, you can even find the recording of today's session as well as our past live sessions on from the past week on those platforms as well. And all we ask, guys, because this whole week is all value driven based. We don't ask for much. We don't charge anything. The whole goal is to offer up those who are attending, who are listening in, value that they could take away and their homes, their families, their networks, and be able to utilize these concepts, these strategies, these mindset pieces to invoke change in their life, especially finances. So if anything, though, in what we shared today or anything that we shared this week gave you some value, gave you a new outlook, gave you a fresh perspective, or even greater insight, all we ask is that you share it with a friend, share it with a family member, share it to someone that you think can obtain and extract value from these lessons. And next time, which is tomorrow, hopefully that they could be able to experience what you're experiencing too. So as we close off here, guys, we're on all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're all on there. So if you wanted to learn more about some training material in more depth, or financial content, or even just success principles, success driven personal development content, we're all on those social media platforms. Give us a like, give us a share, and hopefully we see you guys on the next one tomorrow. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of the day, have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for day 4 of our Financially Fearless Challenge. God bless, guys, and let's empower people. Thank you guys so much for attending.